So Illuvium is partnering with GameStop for their next NFT drop in Illuvitars. So in Illuvium Beyond, these Illuvitars are PFP portraits that are highly collectible. You can put them all together to fill your album and get lots of points. And now they're coming out with GameStop NFTs and it's really, really exciting. But I'm going to break down the numbers for you on how I think this is going to play out. And I think this is going to shock you because some people are probably thinking like, oh, that's right, I won't get them. They won't be that rare. But they are going to be that rare. And I'm going to show you exactly what I mean. Here are the 6 Illuvitars right here. We got Arcane Emberlinks, Dash, Archie, Goliant, Doka, I think Air Doka, probably Fire, and Crunk. They're all really, really cool. But I've taken a stab at what I think the rarities are going to look like. Now, full disclosure, I don't have any sort of inside information or extra details on this than you do. And we will probably find out this information from Aaron in a couple days. Who knows? If we don't, I'll be pushing for it. We will find out the rarities at some point, but this is what I expect them to look like. Now, basically, I've built a spreadsheet. You guys know me. I like building spreadsheets. Here we go. So the first thing I need to point out, I'm actually going to make this a bit smaller. I hope you guys can still read it. The first thing I'm going to point out is this is not going to be like what we're used to in the previous wave. The key thing is we had all the stats for things like T1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. However, in this drop, they're adding Doka into the mix. And my first thought was, are they going to add Doka on top? So you get a disc and you always get a Doka, then you get one of the other Illuvials. That is just not the case. Every Illuvitar comes from one disc, so Doka is in the mix. So what this means is we're going to figure out what rarity T0 is going to sit at in comparison to everything else. And simply put, what I did was I looked at the rarity for Doka, I plotted that number in, and every single other number along with the existing rarity table builds around that, okay? So I might have these stats wrong, don't get me wrong. We're going to have a look at a few different variations on it and see if we can figure out kind of where the right answer is. Basically, if I put in 50%, it takes away 50% from everything else. The old stats were T1 had about a 60% chance. With a 50% chance for a Doka to appear, your 60% chance goes down to 33%, 13 for your tier 2, and Crunk goes to 2.4%, and they get crushed pretty heavily. I've also split this up amongst common, uncommon, rare, and holo, common, uncommon, rare. And you get some really interesting stats, whereas like your holo rare Doka, at 50% pull rate for just Dokas in general, you get down about 0.25%. Whereas on the other end with Goliant, you're 0.001%. So there's not many of them occurring, but don't worry, I've made it even easier for us to understand. I'm looking at how many I would expect to get pulled from the total of 20,000 discs. This is the really big factor here. If you're getting 20,000 discs, you're like, okay, if I can pull a Crunk, I'm going to have 1 of 100. That would be really, really cool. We're going to look at these stats right now. So here we are with the Doka. You can see probably 5,700 would exist. Basically, this entire column, when you total it up, you end up with 50% of the total supply, so 10,000 NFTs. 5,700 commons. Archie would be about 3,800 commons. Emberlinks at 1,500. Crunk at 270. Dash at 90. And Goliant with just 20 pulls. Just 20. It's absolutely wild. You guys probably can't see that all too well. I will zoom across it. So your uncommons, you're looking at about 3,000 Dokas, 1,000 for the rare, and then your holos are about 300 and below. Holo rare Doka 1 in 50, not bad at all. But like your holo rare Arcane Emberlinks is 1 in 13, which is insane. Your Crunk is 1 in 2, might not even exist at all because it's all random. Your Dash is 1 of 1, and Goliant holo rare might just not exist. Your Goliant might get a holo uncommon though. A holo uncommon might exist and a holo common might exist, but there's a good chance they won't exist at all. And I know Aaron does all of these numbers himself, and he's very careful about like, he wants everything to exist in the set, and that's kind of how he built the alpha sale. The problem is with the alpha sale, you had mega discs, which scale up all the rarities and allow you to get a Ramfire 13 times easier, 12 to 13 times easier. But with this, we don't necessarily have mega discs, so they might have to consider it for the standard disc and for this different meta that we're sitting in, because otherwise you might just not get some of these things appear, which would really suck. And then you have the accessories as well. If you guys want me to go into detail on the accessory stuff, I could try and do math for that, but we have even less to go on, so it's probably not worth it. So we'll take a look at a different number set. So if we say Doka's is maybe only 30% chance. Whoops, I shouldn't put it in here. I put it in here. Okay. If you say Doka's are only 30% chance, the reason I didn't like this is because it makes tier 1s more common than the Doka is. So maybe if I make it 35 or 40, 40 is really only where I'm getting the T0 and the T1 to be about similar. If we start to look at the odds, we got 3 Krunks, we got 50% boost on Krunks, which is nice. Still just 1 dash and still no Goliaths. And that's where it starts to get a little bit tricky. Now, I'm not going to go through and rejig the entire sheet just this yet and try and fix up what tier 1 rarities and things are at, but you could expect that that might be the thing. If you drop Doka really low so that your rarity table looks really similar to before, for your T1 to T5, you got about 50 holo rare Archies, 20 holo rare Arcane Emberlynxes, and you're still probably not getting a Goliath. If we extrapolate this out, we're not even close. 0.3 holo rare Goliaths might appear, but you're getting much better numbers for your rare Goliath, and your holo common and uncommon make a lot more sense now. Even your holo common is only barely getting found. So these are some really interesting stats. It'll be interesting to see what they actually come up with. I'm hoping to see the rarity table before it comes out. That would be really exciting. But yeah, if you weren't excited before, I hope this got you more excited, because doing this sort of stuff makes me super excited. Like the idea of being able to get one of these dashes, and there's very few of them that exist. It's kind of what the alpha sale was all hyped up to be, and kind of where that excitement lies for a lot of the NFT collectors in today's Web3 space. And I think the GameStop x Illuvium partnership is a really great way to do it. And I think it's going to achieve that scarcity side of NFTs that we've been hoping for, even though I really love the non-scarcity side of NFTs as well, in the Wave 1 Illuvitars, where it's more about the collecting and filling that album, whereas the GameStop NFTs feel more to me like an exclusive item and just being a part of the Illuvium journey. Have a good day, guys.